Welcome back. Our focus this morning, 54th Assembly District. We are with candidate Don Herman. If you get to Madison, if you win the 54th, what's top of mind for you? What's the top of your list that you would like to accomplish when you get there?
One of the things on the top of my list is because I've had all the businesses, and not just businesses, but homeowners, we have to reduce taxes. You can't raise taxes. Like when I started my business, my property taxes were somewhere around $7,000, maybe $8,000. That's 22 years ago. Now they're $15,000, $16,000, and we have to work at. The government can always come up and make new taxes like rainwater tax. I don't know who comes up with that, but they never can cut their spending. But they can know how to make money for taxes. You can't go to another government. We don't have any competition. There is not another government that you can go to fix your roads. You have one. So I think they take advantage of the taxpayers and American people, and I really think they're not watching the budget, and that's my main goal. People don't even like to go to the city of Oshkosh. I know a lot of builders, and I used to build houses. That's one of the things I did when I was younger. A lot of people don't even want to go to the city of Oshkosh. There's too many regulations, too many laws. I'm putting a building up right now. I have $3,000 into my building, and I didn't even put a post in yet.
Mm-hmm. In your campaign material, you say that you want to bring a small business owner's voice to the state assembly. Is that voice not there right now?
There are some, but we need more, because there are some bar owners and many business owners in the assembly right now, but there's not enough of them to make a difference. So we have to get business owners and people that live the life, and I think some of it's missing some common sense there. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And that's what we have to bring back. I told everybody, I am not running for the power. I'm not running for the money. I'm running for change. That's what I'm trying to do. And I've always believed one person can make a difference. And, a football coach can make a difference. Maybe a teacher can make a difference in your life. I still believe I can make a difference. I made a difference with many families of my businesses. The reason why I stayed so long in my one business, because I didn't want to lose. I wanted to look out for my employees, mm-hmm. And I'm very passionate about that.
One of your campaign platforms, you want to protect our constitutional rights. What did you mean by that? What are you concerned about?
I am so concerned about the Second Amendment. We were founded on guns. The guns are to protect us from government. That's what if you look at the Constitution. So that's what you have to keep defending that. I know there's a lot of stuff going on with gun control and all that stuff, and I believe in gun control to a point, but I don't believe in gun control to where you have to register every single gun to a person. People need to protect themselves, and because the law, the police can't be there 24/7, and that's you have to keep your guns. That's just what it is. That's a Constitution. You can't change that.
Let me touch on education and our education spending. As I'm sure you've seen Tim Michaels, his advertising claiming, and he says we're spending too much on education, wasting money on education. And we've got a former state school superintendent who happens to be our governor right now, who sees things much differently. Where do you see it? Are we spending too much, too little? Are we doing okay? Where do we need to improve?
I think we're spending too much on the basics. Like in the city of Oshkosh right now, they're building a $60 million mural school. And I don't disagree with building a new school, but to my point, I used to go remodel houses. Like I bought bars and I remodeled them in their old buildings. You can do that. So I would have rather seen them remodel Merrill School, put $10 million towards it or something like that, and give the other $50 million to the teachers. You need to pay the teachers is what you need to do. And I think they focus more on more paperwork and more stuff. I know my sister's a principal at Carl Traeger, and I get my information from her, and she's very good. She took that school and turned that thing around from what it used to be. And I ask her many questions on what's going on, and it's a lot to do like I know Governor or Tim Michaels wants to go voucher system, and people can pick their school. But my sister has told me that it's probably a good program, but it's not a good program. Public schools have to take everybody. They can't pick and choose. Okay, the private sector schools, they can pick and choose who they want to take. So she told me, says that's public schools they gotta take everything. That's why their grades or their SATs are lower, because they take everybody. If you got a private school, you don't have to do that. You can pick and choose.
Right.
But I believe in spending money on education. But I'd rather put the money towards the teachers. If you have good teachers, you're going to have good students. Kids don't care if they have a $60 million building to come to. You need to spend it on the teachers, the new technology. I think kids would go to a barn house as long as they had good teachers and they had good technology.
Another topic. You're saving cars, you're running bars, which is light years away from Roe versus Wade. But you're going into the world of politics. Where do you stand on that?
I'm pro-life, but I'm not pro-life 100%. I don't believe that, abortion should be 9 months into it. I don't believe that. I believe in rape or incest. There's got to be, it's not a yes, to me, it's not a yes or no question. I think it's an individual solution. They have to make the decision. It shouldn't be used for birth control, but that's a real tough subject. It's going to the states now, so the states are going to decide all that stuff.
And how much do you think in this coming election in November will the Roe versus Wade decision have an impact?
I think it had a big impact on the Republican Party. Because a lot of Republicans are pro-life. They're not all of them. I am to a point, but I'm not 100% pro-life. Every situation is going to be different with a mother. I still think it's a lot to do with the mother. But you can't have a full-term baby and have an abortion. I don't believe in that either, though. There should be something like a 14 or 16 week or 18. There should be a cutoff. But I think that's all going to be decided by the states now.
We come back to wrap up with Don Herman right after this. Please stay with us.